What if I told you the reason you feel stuck isn't the world, your past, or even your circumstances? It's something far more invisible, and it's been inside your mind this whole time. Stop for a second. Think about it. What's the one thing right now that keeps you from moving forward? A fear you can't name, a doubt you pretend not to feel, a voice that whispers, maybe you're not ready yet. What if that voice is lying to you? In less than 10 minutes, you're about to discover how to silence that voice completely, using a method born from the mind of one of the most mysterious scientists to ever walk the earth. Jacobo Grinberg. Most people have never even heard his name, and yet he spent decades studying the hidden powers of human consciousness. And what he found was so radical, so world-shaking, that it scared people. Grinberg believed something shocking, that reality itself bends to the focus of your mind, that what you see, what you attract, what you become, is shaped by the invisible field of your own awareness. He called it the field of consciousness. And here's the part almost no one talks about. Grinberg disappeared, vanished from the face of the earth in 1994, leaving behind only his journals, his strange experiments, and a trail of unanswered questions. But before he vanished, he left behind something else. A method to break through mental blocks so fast, it can feel like reality itself starts to rearrange around you. And that's what you're about to learn. In this video, I'll walk you through the exact steps Grinberg used to help people remove what was stopping them. It's not about motivation. It's not about willpower. It's about shifting the pattern your mind is projecting into reality. Because right now, that pattern might be telling the world, keep me stuck, keep me small, keep me afraid. And once you change it, everything else begins to change with it. By the end of this video, you'll know how to catch the hidden block in your own mind, pull it out from the shadows, and dissolve it in less than 10 minutes. You won't need special tools. You won't need hours of meditation. You won't even need to believe in anything. You just need to stay here with me until the end. Because somewhere in these next few minutes, you're going to hear something. A sentence, an idea, a key that unlocks the door you didn't know was locked. And when that door opens, you'll see that nothing was really holding you back. Not fear, not failure, not fate. Only a story your mind kept repeating. A story you can rewrite, starting today. Welcome to Awakened Synchronicity. If you're ready to see what's truly possible inside your own mind, subscribe now, because this is just the beginning. Before we talk about the method to remove what's holding you back, we need to step into the strange and fascinating world of the man behind it all. Jacobo Grinberg. His name is almost unknown to the world, yet his work might hold the exact key you've been missing. Grinberg was a Mexican neurophysiologist and psychologist who spent his life searching for one thing, the truth about human consciousness. While most scientists were focused on the brain as a physical machine, he believed something far more mysterious was happening. He didn't see the mind as just neurons firing. He saw it as a gateway, a bridge between our thoughts and the reality we experience. From an early age, Grinberg was obsessed with understanding perception. Why do people see the world differently? Why does one person see possibility while another sees only obstacles? He believed it was because each mind creates its own map of reality, and that map becomes the world we live in. This was not just philosophy to him, it was science. He studied how the brain and mind interact, how beliefs are formed, and how they can be changed. He wanted to prove that our inner world shapes our outer world. This is where his work becomes so important for you. Think about what stops you, a fear, a doubt, a belief that says you can't. Most of us treat those things like solid walls, like facts, but Grinberg believed they're not solid at all. They're patterns of perception. They're part of the mental map your mind has built over years, and if the mind built them, the mind can also unbuild them. Grinberg's research focused on what he called the field of consciousness. He suggested that beneath what we see as solid reality, there is a kind of invisible network, a unified field that connects mind and matter. According to him, our brains act like receivers, interpreting and shaping this field based on our beliefs and expectations. When you expect struggle, your brain filters the world to show you struggle. When you expect opportunity, your brain filters the world to show you opportunity. Imagine your mind like a projector. Whatever film is running inside it becomes the world you see outside. If you've been stuck, it might simply be because an old film is still running, a film of fear, failure, or doubt. Grinberg believed you could change the film. You could rewrite the pattern, and when you do, the world responds differently to you. This is not just theory. He ran experiments to test it. Grinberg studied healers, shamans, and people with unusual mental abilities. He found they all had something in common. They were able to shift their perception completely. They could silence the inner voice of doubt and see only the outcome they wanted. Their minds stopped projecting fear, and the field responded with possibilities. Think about how powerful this is. If your mind can shape what you see, then the block you feel might not be a real block at all. It might only be a shape in your perception, a shadow on your mental map. And if it's only a shadow, you can move it. This is why his work matters so deeply, for breaking inner blocks, because instead of trying to fight the outside world, you go directly to the source, the field your mind is creating. Most self-help talks tell you to push harder, try harder, force your way forward. Grinberg showed a different path. He believed the key isn't to fight the block, it's to dissolve it by changing the pattern of your consciousness. The moment the pattern shifts, the block disappears, like mist fading in the sunlight. This is the hidden power of his teachings. You don't need to overpower your fear, you don't need to argue with your doubt. You simply stop feeding them with attention, and they lose their grip. Because what you give attention to grows, and what you release fades away. Grinberg's work shows that your attention is not passive, it's creative. It shapes the field, and the field shapes your life. Once you understand this, you stop seeing yourself as stuck. You realize you were never really stuck at all. You were only caught in a pattern your mind once created. And if your mind created it, your mind can create something new. This is the doorway Jacobo Grinberg opened, a doorway not just to understanding consciousness, but to transforming your entire reality from the inside out. Before we can clear what's stopping you, we need to name it. Most people think the obstacle is outside. Bad timing, a lack of resources, other people getting in the way. But if you look closer, the real barrier is almost always inside. It's fear, quiet, but heavy, whispering that you'll fail before you begin. It's doubt, wrapping around your ideas until they can't breathe. It's the small, hidden beliefs you picked up long ago. Beliefs like I'm not good enough, or I always mess things up. They sit deep inside, like roots under the surface, quietly steering your choices. And sometimes it's not even thoughts, it's habits. The automatic routines you slip into when life feels uncertain, distraction, delay, avoidance. All of these create invisible walls that hold you in place, even while you tell yourself you want to move forward. The mind builds these walls slowly, piece by piece. As we grow, a single moment of failure becomes a story that says, I can't do this. A careless comment from someone you trusted becomes proof that you're not worthy. Over time, these fragments stack together into a structure, a mental map of what you believe is possible. And the strange thing is, once the map is there, your mind uses it to navigate everything, even if it's wrong, even if it's keeping you small. The mind is designed to protect you, not to free you. It watches for danger, remembers what hurt you, and tries to keep you away from it. That's useful when you're facing real threats. But when the danger is only an old belief, the mind can't tell the difference. It still reacts as if it's life or death. That's why you freeze when you want to act, or talk yourself out of chances you secretly want to take. It's not weakness. It's a survival pattern. Your mind is just running old instructions. These instructions are built from past experiences, from what people told you, from the culture you grew up in, and because they were formed long ago, you rarely question them. They sit in the background, running on autopilot, silently shaping what you see. When you try to step into something new, these old beliefs quietly pull you back. You don't even notice them. You just feel resistance. You feel stuck. And then you tell yourself, maybe I'm just not ready yet. Jacobo Grinberg challenged this entire structure. He believed consciousness is not passive. It doesn't just sit and react to the world. It actively shapes what you experience. Your thoughts, emotions, and expectations are not just private. They influence what shows up in your reality. In his view, your beliefs aren't just filters. They are creative forces. The mind projects its patterns onto the field of consciousness, and the field responds by arranging your world to match those patterns. Think about that for a moment. If you believe you're unlucky, your mind looks for proof of that belief, and the field organizes events around that expectation. If you believe opportunities always find you, your mind looks for signs of it, and the field offers them. This is why breaking an inner block matters so much, because the block isn't just inside you, it's woven into the pattern of reality your mind is creating. Change the pattern, and the outer world starts to shift. Grinberg didn't just talk about this as an idea. He gave a simple way to experience it. You don't need complicated rituals or years of training. You just need to pause, look inward, and see what's actually there. Because once you see the block clearly, it begins to lose its power. Awareness dissolves it. Here is a method you can try, a short exercise you can do in 10 minutes. First, sit quietly. Let your body settle. Close your eyes if it helps. Begin with slow, even breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Let your shoulders drop. Feel the weight of your body on the chair or floor. This is not about forcing relaxation. It's about coming home to the present moment, where the noise of the mind starts to fade. Next, bring to mind the thing you've been avoiding. The project, the choice, the risk you want to take, but can't seem to. Let it appear in your thoughts. Don't judge it. Just see it. Ask yourself gently, what's stopping me from moving toward this? Wait. Listen for the first answer that rises. It might come as words or as a feeling or as an image. Whatever comes, accept it. Now, notice what happens in your body as you hold that block in your mind. Do your shoulders tense? Does your chest feel heavy? Is there a sinking feeling in your stomach? This matters because the body remembers what the mind tries to hide. That tightness is the shape of the block. Feel it fully, just for a moment without trying to change it. Then ask this question, is this true? Do I want to keep believing this? Say it slowly, in your mind. Look at the block as if it were an old photograph. Does it feel current, alive, or does it feel old and faded, like something left behind? Often you'll notice it's just an echo, a belief you picked up long ago but never questioned. If it feels false, thank it silently for trying to protect you and let it go. Imagine it dissolving like smoke. If it still feels true, that's okay. Don't fight it. Just see it clearly. Seeing it is the first crack in its power. Finally, choose what you want to believe. Instead, this is not about pretending. It's about picking a new pattern for your mind to project. It can be as simple as I am capable, or I am safe to try, or I am allowed to move forward. Say it slowly. Feel what it's like in your body to believe it. Let that feeling spread, even if it's only a spark at first. And then, breathe. Sit with this new belief for a few moments. Picture yourself taking one small action from this new place. Just a single step. Let your mind rehearse it, not as struggle, but as natural as yours. This exercise may seem simple, but it works because it interrupts the automatic pattern. It breaks the loop. Instead of letting your mind replay the old film of fear, you pause the projector and load a new one. That small pause is everything. In that pause, your consciousness becomes active again. It stops reacting and starts creating. And the moment that happens, the field begins to shift. The block doesn't need to be forced out. It just needs to be seen, questioned, and released. Because when you stop feeding the old belief with attention, it loses its shape. It stops being real. And in its place, space opens. Space for something new to move through you. This is how you take back the power you didn't know you gave away. Not by pushing harder, but by changing the pattern inside your mind. Because once that pattern shifts, what seemed impossible can suddenly feel inevitable. What seemed far away can start moving toward you. And what once felt like a wall can reveal itself as nothing more than mist, dissolving the moment you walk through it. You might wonder how something so simple could actually work. It's easy to believe that deep blocks require deep struggle, that you have to fight for years to change. But the truth is, the mind is built to adapt. It's wired to change when you show it something new. Every belief you carry lives inside networks of neurons, tiny pathways that fire together like roads, lighting up on a map. When you challenge a belief, even just by questioning it, you interrupt those pathways. The signals pause, and when the same thought doesn't run down the same road again and again, the road begins to fade. This is how the brain works. What you stop using weakens, and what you focus on grows stronger. That's why conscious awareness is so powerful. Most of the time, your mind runs on automatic patterns. You don't think about how you brush your teeth or the exact words of the self-doubt that stops you. You just feel the hesitation and freeze. But when you bring your full attention to a belief, you lift it out of the shadows. The automatic loop breaks. This is called neuroplasticity, and it means your brain is always rewiring itself based on what you focus on. Awareness interrupts the old loop, and choosing a new belief builds a new loop in its place. Jacobo Grinberg believed this went even deeper than the brain. He suggested that your consciousness doesn't only respond to the world, it also shapes it. In his theory, your perception acts like a filter between the field of consciousness and physical reality. The patterns in your mind decide what parts of the field become visible to you. Change the pattern, and new possibilities come into view that were hidden before. So when you dissolve a limiting belief, you're not just changing your thoughts, you're shifting the very field of reality that your mind is projecting. That's why it can feel like life itself rearranges around you once the block is gone. Some people hear this and say, "That sounds too easy. It won't work for me." That doubt is part of the block itself. It's the voice of disbelief, the habit of expecting failure before you begin. But here's the thing. You don't need to believe in it for it to work. The brain responds to action, not belief. Just doing the exercise starts the rewiring. Even if your doubt is loud, just sitting down for 10 minutes creates the crack where change can enter. Others say, "I don't have time." But the truth is, 10 minutes is all it takes. We spend more than that scrolling, worrying, or replaying fears in our head. This method doesn't ask for hours or big effort. It only asks for a pause, a single quiet moment where you look inside. 10 minutes is enough to notice the block, name it, and loosen its grip. And that tiny shift is often enough to start momentum again. Then there are the ones who whisper, "I tried before and failed." They carry the weight of old attempts that didn't work. But what failed before wasn't you. It was the approach. You tried to push through the block, to overpower it while still believing it was real. This time you're not fighting the block. You're seeing through it. That difference changes everything. You're not forcing yourself to climb over a wall. You're realizing the wall was made of paper. Let me tell you about someone who proved this. She had wanted to start her own small art business for years. Every time she thought about it, excitement rose, and then fear crashed over it like a wave. She'd tell herself she wasn't good enough, that no one would care, that she'd fail and be embarrassed, so she stayed stuck. One day, she tried this exercise. She sat quietly and named the block. "I'm not good enough." She noticed the tightness in her chest when she said it. She asked, "Is this true? Do I want to keep believing it?" And for the first time, she realized the belief wasn't hers. It was her old art teacher's voice, still echoing from years ago. She let it go. Then she chose a new thought. "My work can bring joy." That week, she posted one piece online. It sold. That single act broke the freeze. Now she creates full-time. Her story is not rare. Once the block cracks, energy rushes in. The thing you fear doing starts to feel natural. The first step opens the second. But to make sure this new pattern holds, you need to nurture it gently. Think of it like a small fire. It begins as a spark, and it needs steady care. Do the exercise daily, even for just a few minutes. Not as a chore, but as a ritual, a moment to clear the static and reset your mind. Each time you do it, you're carving the new pathway deeper. Write down what comes up during the exercise. Seeing your thoughts on paper pulls them out of the shadows and into the light. It shows you how much of the fear was only smoke. Allow small wins. They are proof to your mind that the world is shifting. Take them seriously. A small action taken from your new belief is more powerful than a huge leap taken from fear. Celebrate the small steps. They tell your brain, this new path is safe, this works. And above all, be gentle with yourself. Old beliefs often return at first, like echoes fading out. This doesn't mean you failed. It means your mind is testing the new pattern. Meet it with patience. Smile at the old thought when it appears, then return your focus to the new one. This kindness is not weakness. It's how the new pattern takes root. This is how the change becomes real. One quiet moment each day, one small spark of belief. And slowly, almost silently, the mind begins to rebuild itself, not as a cage, but as an open field where you can finally move forward. Sometimes what we think is the block isn't the block at all. It's just the smoke, not the fire. This is one of the most subtle traps the mind creates. You tell yourself, I can't move forward because I'm always tired, or I just don't have enough time, or everything is too chaotic right now, and those things might feel real. They might even be true on the surface, but often they're only symptoms. Fatigue can hide the tension of constant inner conflict. Chaos can be the disguise your mind uses to avoid stillness, because stillness would force you to see what you're afraid of. And the excuse of I don't have time can be a shield against the fear of actually succeeding. These are false blocks. They are not the root. They are the fog around it. Jacobo Grinberg warned about this. He said the mind will create endless distractions to protect its old patterns, because if the pattern breaks, the mind loses its familiar structure, and that feels threatening, so it builds clever stories. It says fix your schedule first, then you'll be ready, or wait until life calms down, or you need more confidence before you start. But if you look closely, these stories keep you circling, never stepping forward. They are loops designed to delay the moment you face the real block. So how do you tell the difference between a real block and a false one? You go underneath. When you notice an excuse rise, like fatigue or not enough time, pause and ask, if this weren't an issue, would I move forward, or would something else stop me? If you imagine the excuse disappearing and still feel fear, that fear is the real block. If you remove the surface reason and feel resistance underneath, that resistance is where the work is. Another way is to notice how the excuse feels in your body. Real physical limits feel neutral, like facts. False blocks feel heavy, sticky, charged with emotion. They tighten the chest, not the stomach, cloud the mind. That emotional charge is the signal you're looking at the surface of something deeper. Once you see through a false block, something strange happens. The tension drops, the fog clears, and in its place the real block comes into view, usually small, almost quiet. It's often just a single thought like "I might fail" or "I don't deserve this." It's rarely dramatic. It just hides in the shadows, quietly steering everything. And once you see it, you can do the exercise you've learned. Breathe, feel it, question it, and release it. When that release happens, the shift can be immediate. Within minutes, the mind feels different. Clarity rises like light coming through a crack. The constant static of doubt goes quiet. Even if just for a moment, the heart feels lighter, as if a weight slid off that you didn't know you were carrying. You might suddenly see a solution you were blind to before, or you might simply feel a calm sense of, "I can do this." That calm is the first proof the pattern has changed. It's not always dramatic. Sometimes the change is subtle, a sense of space opening where there was pressure. But that space is everything. In that space, a new choice becomes possible. Often the first thing that appears is a small action. You find yourself picking up the phone to make the call you've avoided, writing the first line of the project you've delayed, sending the message you've been scared to send. It can be tiny, but it carries a new energy. That small movement is the sign that the field around you is shifting. Jacobo Grinberg believed these small shifts are how transformation begins, not with explosions, but with quiet cracks in the old structure. When you feel that lightness, when your body unclenches and your thoughts stop circling, you are stepping into a new pattern, and the field responds. What once felt like pushing a wall now feels like opening a door. You have the tools to do this. You don't need permission or perfect timing or a sudden burst of motivation. You only need 10 quiet minutes to pause, turn inward, and see what's really there. The moment you do, the mind stops being a prison and becomes a path. Try the method now. Don't wait for the perfect day. Don't wait to feel ready. Sit, breathe, and ask what's truly holding you back. Let the first answer come. Feel it. Question it, release it, and then watch what shifts. It might be small, it might be invisible at first, but something will move. Something always does. Pay attention to what changes after you do it. Notice how the world seems to meet you differently when the old pattern is gone. Maybe someone suddenly says yes to something they once ignored. Maybe an idea drops into your mind like a gift. Maybe you simply feel peace. And in that peace you realize you were never stuck at all. That is the power Grinberg was pointing to, the moment when your inner shift bends the outer world. This is your moment to see it for yourself, not as theory, not as hope, but as experience. The block is not stronger than you. It's only been louder. Silence it for 10 minutes and see how quickly life begins to answer back. Everything you've just experienced leads back to one simple but powerful truth. What holds you back is not the outside world, it's the patterns living inside your mind. They may feel heavy, they may seem permanent, but they are only thoughts, echoes from the past that you've mistaken for facts. And the moment you bring them into the light of your awareness, they begin to lose their power. This is what Jacobo Grinberg tried to show. That the mind is not a prison, it is a projector. It shapes what you see, how you feel, and even what paths appear in front of you. When you pause, breathe, and look directly at the block inside you, you interrupt the old pattern. You stop feeding it with attention. You stop letting it tell your story. And in that quiet moment, you take your power back. That's when letting go becomes possible. Letting go is not about erasing the past or pretending fear never existed. It's about releasing the grip it has on you. It's about saying, "I see you, but you don't decide for me anymore." The moment you do that, space opens up, the weight lifts, and suddenly the future that once felt locked begins to move toward you. This doesn't take weeks of effort. It doesn't require years of struggle. It takes less than 10 minutes of honest presence. 10 minutes to sit with yourself, to see what's been quietly steering your choices, and to choose again. That small window of time is enough to spark change, because awareness is powerful. Awareness breaks the cycle. Awareness reminds you that you are not the block, you are the one observing it. And once you know that, moving forward stops feeling impossible. It becomes natural, like walking through an open doorway instead of trying to climb over a wall. You'll notice the change not just in your thoughts, but in your body. Your chest feels lighter, your mind clearer, your energy freer, and with that clarity comes movement. A decision you were avoiding becomes easy, an action you feared suddenly feels obvious. This is the essence of Grinberg's work, and it's the gift he left behind. The knowing that consciousness is active, that it shapes reality, and that by changing what you hold inside, you change what the world offers back to you. This is not theory, it's something you can experience right now. So take these moments, use them, and see what shifts for you. Begin small, begin gently, begin now. Because the truth is, you've never been stuck. You've only been carrying a pattern that no longer belongs to you, and you are free to set it down. When you change what's inside, everything else can change too. If this message spoke to something deep in you, if you felt even the smallest shift of lightness, clarity, or hope, then stay on this journey with us. Like this video and subscribe to our channel, Awakened Synchronicity, because what you've seen here is only the first door, and beyond it are countless more waiting for you to walk through.